Hi everyone, this is Trojan. I hope everyone's doing well today. Would like to take a moment to welcome Tim Ubik, the Shield, as it is on Discord, if you're on the Tecmo Super Bowl channel, to Online Tecmo. This is his first game of Online Tecmo Super Bowl. A veteran in the Milwaukee, Green Bay, and has been to Madison multiple times. And I just want to put out here in advance that Tim is a very good player, and this is just simply him getting used to the subtle differences in timings and things, and just getting used to the experience playing in a window on his computer screen versus playing in front of a tube TV in an original Nintendo. So we're actually on the phone talking back and forth during this game, just having a good old time, nothing serious here. He starts with a pass 2 right away, and the timing's already throwing him off. He thought he threw the ball, and alas, he got sacked there. So already the mistakes are kind of starting to reveal just because of the timings and whatnot. So goes with the run 2. This is a play that he's very effective at. I try to dive with Fletcher. I get pancaked immediately, and he breaks off a huge run here. So he's very effective with butts. I'm right now about a 60-40 tapper against him. Most of the time I got him, but if he's got to have it, I got to be on my game with the tapping. Get out the Pro T formation. Goes back with it. I decided to go ahead and try to fill in the hole there, but his blocker comes back and gets me. Luckily I get some drone help on that play. So I just switch things up to Mecklenburg. He's going with pass 2 again. And basically he goes for the QB run right away. Only option was really up top if I had some separation. I ended up calling pass 4 here. And ends up dumping it out, errant throw. And again, in a normal game, you probably would kick the field goal here. But decides to go for it just because. And I thought he might go up top, so I went with Fletcher. And stopped him just in time. So I had the taps there on him. And so I take over on downs. If you saw the game I played against Brewdog, pass 3 shotgun worked really well for me with Elway. He's got a lot of field to cover there. He's concerned about Humphreys on the sweep, so he's calling a lot of run this game. Again, I got some options. We'll back up top again. This time he got back just in time. I thought I might have had a touchdown there, but he wisely redirects just in time. Switch up to pass 4 just in case he decides to come back at it. And I thought I had the burn route there, but Elway sometimes will make that errant throw. Go right back to pass 4. Decided to come back underneath, get the first down. Stationary target's pretty safe. And Elway, again, completes this pass, but it should have been a touchdown, but the receiver came back. So now we've got first down on our own goal, or rather, going towards the goal here. And let's redirect that dive play up to the top with Bob Humphrey. And we're in for 6. So got some luck early on. Got that stop there. Able to turn it into points. Actually, a pretty good return by Tim there, out to the 25. Calls pass 1 here. Basically, he could probably go down to the stationary receiver at the bottom. Decides to see if he can beat that cornerback up top with Miller, but gets deflected. Brings up second down. Cole Smith there, he calls pass 1. I think I called run 1 in this situation. And my understanding, I thought if you called run 1 or run 2, that you have a better opportunity with a little more pass coverage. That could be wrong, but that was what I thought I'd get at least one drone cover. Didn't happen. Went back to it. Same result here. So just conceding this underneath route a couple times here. Sometimes you'll get lucky and a drone will jump up and deflect that pass. Goes back to back to back on pass 2. And this time, he just makes a poor throw. Tolliver kind of doing his Elway impression. And it's open underneath. We're going to go ahead and let him dink and dunk down the field. And that's what can happen when you don't get out of bounds. Dennis Smith gets his first turnover of the game. And we're back on the offense here. Sticking with shotgun play seems to give us a lot of mobility here. He does call it. I decided to just pull it down and take the sack here. Like the position we're in, and if I end up getting a punting situation, I can completely flip the field with Haran. So not terribly worried here. Again, it's usually an all or nothing with him. With the Broncos here, where if you decide to take away run 3, which is always on the plate in situations like this, and then these pass plays will keep going. I've had some success with them. That time he guessed it. We'll see if he continues to guess pass plays. This time he guessed pass. Decided to take a shot across the field. I thought if he would get picked, that'd be right inside the 10 there, and then chance of maybe beating that top corner with an angle throw. Falls incomplete. We've got third down here. Going with pass 2. And with Elway, one advantage there is that you can really squeeze in some things that you wouldn't throw with other quarterbacks. So once I saw him run up there, I said, okay, we're going to go ahead and try to laser this in. Worked out. We got a new set of downs. So breaking out run 3, something we haven't done a lot this game. Get our 10 yards. Back to run 4. I'm sorry, pass 4. Just creating that separation there. I was hoping to get in the end zone there with Johnson, but that drone had a nice dive. So we're knocking on the door here. One play we haven't busted out yet is the sweep on run 1. He does a really good job of creating traffic there and minimizing that. And we're going to go right back to it and see if he's going to duplicate this result. This time he gets boggled up. And I make a little bit of a mistake there. Thought I had it in the end zone there. And just miscalculated, ran out of bounds. So we go back to run 3. It looked like I had an alley for a second, but that free blocker came up. So I couldn't out-tap at that point. And we're just going to go for it here. This close. We've had pretty good success holding them. I think we're going to just go for it here. Go with a dive play and just a little more speed that he has in this situation with Humphrey. So we're going up 2 scores here. Situation like this coming up, I won't be surprised if you might see like a Vlasic substitute for throwing up the JJs. May not stick with him the entire game, but for the end of the half, that might be the way he goes. Yep, it looks like Vlasic's going in. Miller isn't good, so he can certainly get down the field. That's probably where he'll go with the ball, given the opportunity. And if you saw the game against Brewdog, I got burned on a deep ball at the end of each half, so I wasn't going to have that. And I don't think he expected me to be able to dive tackle him there in the end zone. Again, online delay can change your perspective on where things are at just a little bit. And normally I just get out of bounds here, but I kicked a shorter kick. One thing I did mention to him as we were playing was that there was a very almost infinitesimal impossible chance to get an onside kick as player 2. He said whoops when he kicked that. He did not mean to do an onside kick. This is something we discussed a little later in the game. And all I'm doing there is just running time off the clock since I can't fumble it now that I've recovered an onside kick. Again, online Tecmo taking over here, so don't judge the results too much here. An adjustment for a new player that wins most of the games that he plays on the local level. So went to run 3 just to test the waters, and looks like he's been sitting on run plays for most of the game. We see the drones come up quite a bit. Haven't called this one yet. And another example of me running out of bounds by accident, just mistiming the things with an emulator. Not that it would have gone further, but I would expect it to get at least 3 yards on that play. And going back to the run 3, we got 4th down here. And online field goals and me don't get along too well, so I decided to go for it. And I tried to throw cross field here, try to catch wide receiver 1 in the end zone, but he throws out of bounds instead. I did change out Elway for Kubiak because of the conditions. And unfortunately, on the following play here, I get caught up. Cannot break away from drones, it seems. And he takes Marion Butts to the house. So, good run by him. It seems like run 3 is a double-edged sword in my world. I do very well with it, and I really struggle against it. And he makes it work for him. So he's actually made this at least a partially interesting game. He's still down 2 scores, but at this point, hopefully he's starting to get some of the timings down just a little bit. I don't remember what the holdup here was. He maybe just been chatting over something. So, if there's anything that you guys want to take notice of in the comments, definitely leave them below. If you haven't tried the online Tecmo scene yet, highly recommend that you do so. It's a great way to meet other people, play people of different play styles, and get yourself prepared for a more versatile player base when you go to tournaments. So I'm running around with Kubiak now, and O'Neal comes up, and Clarence K is in the clear. It's got drone help coming, so I don't bother tapping. I want to get out of bounds. Kubiak made a nice throw there. As you see there, I still have the taps on him. I was able to break a tackle from O'Neal. And the angle just worked out really well there. That burn route, you couldn't get down in time. And we have another touchdown. So here's one nice thing about the receivers on the Broncos are just they're real decent. You know, they're not flashy, but they have just enough speed to get the job done. So we've widened the lead here. Return on to the 10. Going with the pass 3. And he completes the pass underneath, and luckily I have some drone help to tackle him there. I end up running into one of his linemen and getting popcorn. So this time I try to popcorn the blocker on the edge, and I just can't seem to get in that alley when he's running that play. So pretty bottled up as far as the receivers are going. And he goes ahead and runs with Vlasic there. Got a second and short. Well, here's an opportunity that unfortunately just didn't work out. Vlasic just makes a poor throw. He had him open. Just miss him with the dive there. Again, that run 3 is really gouging me. Back to pass 3. Basically, he's got 2 options underneath, or he can try to run it, and he gets sacked by Tyrone Braxton. So, delay it just long enough. He's got 2nd and long coming up here. And that's blocked. And if I remember here, I think he calls run 3 and try to take out this blocker here, and I still cannot get to him, and he's just, Butts is just so darn fast. So even though I had a reasonable amount of traffic created there, I just couldn't get to him. Came up there. If he had a longer field, he would have had that open alley there, but the drone was so close to the wide receiver 1 was able to come back and cover RB2 in the end zone, force the second down. Goes back to run 3 again. This time he was able to create just a little more traffic there. He gets 7 yards. We're on 3rd down. So here I try to meet him in the hole. He gets snagged, and then I end up bouncing off a lineman, getting popcorn. He gets a touchdown. So Marion Butts, definitely a weapon. It's eerie just how similar these two teams are to each other, with the star running back and laser arm quarterbacks. So he went for the onside kick here, and that was actually intentional. I did explain, like, there was really no way that was going to get recovered. So he'll take that into battle next time. Now, I noticed earlier that wide receiver 2 was getting some distance. It was just the over-the-top help that was preventing me from throwing that. And I decided to let it fly, even though it was bird, and it ended up working out pretty well. So we have a touchdown, just pretty much game here. Really just not enough time to get back into it here. And fumble happens here, and the end of the game here, we're not doing the punt thing like a lot of people will do, just situationally practicing things. So I throw it like I gotta have it. Bounce is incomplete. Very easily could have been picked. Again, normally wouldn't throw that unless I absolutely had to have that completion. Time for just a couple more plays here. Basically just another throw a burn route and see if maybe he'll dive catch it. And there could have been an opportunity for completion at the top there, but he throws it away instead. So there was a little bit of a lead on the defensive back there. And the last play of the game here. And that's your game. So, first game, adjusting to the setup here for Tim Ubik. Again, much better player. Ran all over me with Marion Butts. Interesting that I didn't do much with running because I had some opportunities with passing. He took away the run most of the game, and so I was able to take those yards and do something with them. So, well, I wanted to thank you for watching. If you're on Discord, please welcome Tim. It goes by _shield on Discord, and make sure to give him a warm welcome. Play some games with him, and we hope to catch you next time. Again, if there's something you'd like to see as far as a matchup in the comments, if there's a player you'd like me to play against, if there's a specific team arrangement you'd like to see, and any commentary on what happened in this game is always appreciated. Hit that like button if you liked the video. Hit the dislike if you didn't like it. Subscribe to our channel if you like comments like this, commentary like this, and we hope to catch you next time. Thanks, guys.